And I figured out at some point that my Canadian publisher is Leonard Cohen's publisher. It's a Canadian publisher called McClellan and Stewart. It's like an old, famous Canadian publisher, and they still are Leonard Cohen's publisher. And I just asked my editor, I said, is there any way we can get to Cohen? I have this idea for a book about the Yom Kippur War, and my editor is a big Cohen fan, but he had never heard of this, as most Cohen fans had not. And he said, I think we can get you to Cohen if we know his people, and I'll just put in a request with his agent, and we'll see if we can get you an interview with Cohen. And I said, amazing. Like, for me, that's big deal.
And you're Canadian.
I'm Canadian, so of course I grew up in Toronto, and I grew up with Leonard Cohen in the background. If you're Canadian, certainly if you're a Canadian Jew, you necessarily love Leonard Cohen. You're not given an option. So I thought that within a month I would be sitting with Leonard Cohen in his living room in Montreal, sipping whiskey and talking about the Yom Kippur War. And by this time, Leonard Cohen had lived in Los Angeles for like 30 years. He didn't even live in Montreal, but in my imagination, this all happens in Montreal. Yeah. Because, of course, he's an artist closely associated with Montreal. So I sent off this email, which is a summary of the book idea and just like a couple paragraphs on what I wanted to write. It included a photograph, this famous photograph where you see Leonard Cohen standing next to Ariel Sharon, General Ariel Sharon, famous photograph. Or famous as anything from this relatively unknown moment. I thought the photograph would kind of jog his memory and make him want to talk.
You even said in the book, just when you say relatively famous, in the book, I think if I remember correctly, even Ariel Sharon doesn't fucking remember that photograph. Right?
I mean, we can't ask Sharon either, because unfortunately he and Leonard are now smoking cigars in heaven together, but he does not make any mention of it in his memoir. And I asked his son if he'd ever heard Sharon mention Cohen, and he'd never heard Sharon mention Cohen. Yeah. But the photograph is an incredible photograph, and I thought it would help. I thought it might just make Cohen want to talk. So I sent off the email, and this was November 2016, and I hit send, went to sleep, woke up the next morning. I had an email from my editor in my inbox, and the subject line was, holy shit, and it was just a link to Leonard Cohen's obituary.
Wow.
So I missed interviewing Leonard Cohen by very little.